on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. So today is Saturday. Hope you're having an awesome day. If we have a look at what's going on in the markets are a little indecisive right now, okay? We have some coins that are up 0.08, 0.44, some coins that are down 0.2, 1.3. Okay, now it's a little bit more red, but you can see even this down 0.07 for Bitcoin. Not really much happening today, guys. Bitcoin is trying to figure out what it wants to do. Now, there are some altcoins that are taking advantage of this sideways movement. We'll get into that in just a second, but I think the real elephant in the room is the fact that Bitcoin, see, there we go, now we're up 0.04. It's just kind of teetering around today. So we're going to talk about it, but what I really want to get into is this crazy double bubble theory, okay, with Bitcoin right now. And basically, they're saying that we may potentially, and I know this is crazy, but we may potentially see a $50,000 to $100,000 Bitcoin in the next month. I know what you're saying, that's impossible. Trust me, I don't really believe that myself. However, if we actually go back and look at the charts all the way back to 2013, well, there's actually one time where we did have this, and it happened, and we had basically two bull runs back to back in a very short period of time. So we're going to talk about that. Pretty crazy. Also, if it's your first time checking out the Crypto Zombie channel and you're not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? We do this every single day. Also, don't forget we do have our Ledger Nano X giveaway on Monday. All you got to do is drop a comment on any video and you are eligible. And of course, one more thing before we move on. I know my least favorite part of the video, but once again, shout out to Robert. He got an email from me, apparently. By the way, guys, if I ever send you an email referring to myself as a YouTube crypto expert, definitely know that that is a scammer, which this is a scammer because as you can see right here, it is the cryptozombie@gmail.com. This is not me. I will never email you. I will never ask you for money. You guys know the drill, okay? But for everyone new to the channel, please just ignore these scammers. This is not me, okay? Cool? Awesome. If you have any questions, you can always go to the official Telegram group right here. It's free. Join it. That is the only place to officially get a hold of me or my official email in my About Me section. But I know, enough of that. That's the boring stuff. Let's talk about the markets. Let's give it a quick refresh live. So we are down $1 billion. Ho ho, it's the weekend. You know how that goes. Volume is down to 60,000 according to CoinMarketCap, probably much lower, if we look at the real 10. But having a look, there's nothing really too amazing across the board. We do have some coins doing pretty well. Wax is up 39%, Maximine Coin 31, Hypercash, Loom Network, Monacoin, Golem, Komodo. So we do have some altcoins that are doing quite well. Decentraland, IOST, Loopring, Arc, Nash. Okay, so and also Quant, by the way, is still up 29. Let's see if it pulled back at all. Yeah, it pulled back a little bit, 24%, but yeah, Quant has definitely been on a massive tear lately. Still low on the Bitcoin comparative, if you notice. If you switch it to dollars, obviously dollars doing much better, but we've had this talk plenty times on the channel talking about that. But I do want to say, hey, listen, congratulations, because even if we look at this chart, just 1 year ago, exactly 1 year ago today, you could see that Bitcoin was trading around $7,600, and currently we are above that. So congratulations, 1 year ago, we are now up. I'll take it. So let's have a look at what's going on. So obviously, guys, we were doing fine. Everything was going great. We started to come to the end of this sort of wedge, and we know Bitcoin usually doesn't tend to get to the end. We fell down. We got supported by the $7,502 level, and now we're bouncing around in this blue zone, which we did a lot back here, and now we're following on the same path again. So the other thing I want to point out, though, is we have formed somewhat of a downwards channel, as you can see right here. We've sort of just been bouncing between these two areas. Now, currently, if you look at this dotted line, we are above it, so we're in more of the bullish territory of the downwards trend. However, we still are trending downwards short term, not overall, just short term we are. Obviously, zooming out, we're still going up, which is good. We're putting in higher lows, which is good, okay? We haven't put in a higher high since May 30th, but you do notice that the VPVR, which had this massive amount of trading volume, which also if we go back here, you'll notice that's why we are trading in this blue zone as well. We are above that. So that is something to be excited about, okay? That is short-term bullish. Also, you notice it is the weekends. We do have declining volume. That's something to keep in mind. Now, the interesting thing that I've noticed is no matter how you move this chart, no matter where you draw the lines, it always seems that we come to this really crucial point right here around the middle of June, right? June 15th or June 16th. Even if we go back here, you notice that once we have this crucial point where we meet the wedge, this is also June 15th. And yeah, if you guys notice, we're actually making a giant wedge right here. We're out of the red zone. Are we going to end up filling the CME futures gap? I don't even know, to be honest with you guys, because so far we're not, it doesn't seem like we're going any lower. There is still a potential chance that we may have just like this really quick wick, right? We may wick all the way down to 7,100, 7,200, and then instantly pull back up, you know, kind of like what we saw back here when we had that fat finger trade, which if we were on the Bitstamp chart, that went down way lower. But that's just something I wanted to point out. But as you can see right here, once again, we have June 15th. We come over here, June 15th. So I'm not saying June 15th is the day to watch out for, but it does seem like, yeah, I mean, within the next week, we're going to have some massive Bitcoin movement. But if Bitcoin does continue to just sort of bounce around in this channel, well, then I do think that the altcoins may have a potential chance to shine. They may come out to play. But this is what I want to talk about right here. This is the double bubble theory, okay? So this is from Victor Cobra. Now, he does go and say that, listen, he knows that this is an unrealistic number, but it's so strange when you see the comparison to the 2013 chart. So basically, this is the situation right here. And as you could see, if we were actually to continue upwards and follow this trend, we would end up right here, which would be a roughly $60,000 Bitcoin. And if we were to follow the second trend all the way to the top, we would actually have a $103,000 Bitcoin. Now, I know what you're saying. This is crazy. This is just speculation. It's just a guy drawing lines on a chart, right? Well, he actually compares it to what we had back here. And I'm going to entertain this and actually go back and look at the chart ourselves. So this right here is, you can see this low right here. This was October 26th of 2012. And we had a peak right here, which was April 9th of 2013, right? So we're going to take it right here. We're going to measure from the bottom, all right, all the way up to the top right here. And you could see that in roughly, excuse me, I was a little bit off on that one. Let me get that a little bit closer. So you could see that we were basically 166 days later, we were up 2,779%. Okay. So this is from October 26th of 2012 to April 10th of 2013. Now let's zoom in and see what happened after that. We had a fall from all the way here around $271, and Bitcoin plummeted all the way down to $50, okay, which is an 81% correction in just 7 days. And then after that, we continued to sort of go in this really low zone, right? But now, where did we go from the low to the high? Well, check this out. So if we take this low peak that we had, where it ended up dumping to the $51 mark, and we go all the way up to the peak here, you could see in just the next 228 days, Bitcoin sprung 2,190%, skyrocketing Bitcoin all the way up to $1,175. And you could see that this entire process literally happened over the course of just 399 days. So just slightly over a year. Okay, so the question is if we actually look at what we're doing right now with the chart, could we potentially have that? What do you guys think? It's possible. Now, I know what you're saying. That's a little crazy. So someone else has a little bit more realistic idea about this double bubble top. And this is Nick Snides. Now, he's saying if we follow this right here, if we look at this curve, you could see we'd sort of have a peak around like $44,000. And he's saying that could actually be by the end of this year. A little more realistic, even though this is still crazy to think of a $44,000 Bitcoin by the end of the year. But he is saying that's possible. And then we have a little bit of a minor correction. We dump down to 35,000 around November 1st of 2020. And then we finally peak out again right here around $126,000. And that's around November 1st of 2021. So that is the double bubble theory. Let me know what you guys think about that. Do you think we could actually have a $50,000 Bitcoin at sometime next month? Realistically speaking, I don't think that's going to happen. But then again, Nobody thought Bitcoin would be $8,000 by now, right? I mean, we had people predicting like, yeah, maybe by the end of the year, we might see a $10,000 Bitcoin. And then just like a week ago, everyone's like 10,000, 12,000, 15,000, right? So obviously this moves a lot faster and Bitcoin is a wild animal, but let me know what you guys think. Do you think that the double bubble theory is possible? Will we see something like we saw back here? Or, there is also the more realistic approach that we may have a $50,000 or $40,000 Bitcoin by the end of this year. So that's something I just wanted to bring up, just wanted to point out. But listen, as Rhythm Trader points out, if you look at the returns of Bitcoin, the writing is on the wall here, guys. The past 7 years, you'd be up 144,000%, 6 years, 6,000, 5 years, 1,000, 4 years, 3 years, almost, 900, 2 years, 194, and in just the past year, 4%, right? As I showed you guys, we're up. We're still up, okay? So that is something to keep in mind. And, obviously a lot of people are pointing out, whale manipulation, maybe recently FOMO. Okay, we've gone over this. Yes, the markets are manipulated, but inevitably they are still growing. And I actually wanted to point out something that we need to be looking at. Now, this is from Cryptocurrency Toolkit, and a lot of people tend to look at the all-time high, right? And they go, oh, Bitcoin was 20K. Yeah, great store of value, buddy, right? Well, why don't we look at the lows? And if you actually look at the Bitcoin lows, you realize that we're constantly putting in higher and higher and higher lows. The trend is your friend, and the trend is up. Watch this. Check this out. Look at these numbers right here. So in 2020, you had a Bitcoin low of 3 cents, right? Then in 2011, we had a Bitcoin low, and that was a 806% increase. Then we had $3.88. That's 1,238. Then we had $13.16 in 2019. $91.66 in 2014. You guys can see the numbers right there. $157 in 2015. $350 in 2016. This is up 123%. 2017, that was crazy. $739. Then obviously, we had 2018, 3,169 low, and currently 2019, obviously crazy year, but low, $3,362. So I think you can see the writing is on the wall. However, I know a lot of you out there are saying, listen, K-Dub, Bitcoin, it's great. I want to make money though. I want to make those 10x, 20x, 30x gains, right? What about the altcoins? Well, interestingly enough, Don Alt actually put this out a couple days ago, and he said how much of your portfolio is in altcoins. And 48% said 60 to 100%. So it seems like the majority of people out there are holding more altcoins than Bitcoin. Now, I told you my Bitcoin my Bitcoin ratio is about 50%. It's probably a little bit higher right now, as some of the altcoins weren't really performing well. But long story short, I hold about 50% Bitcoin. So I guess I would be in this 15% right here, I guess. So curious, has anything changed since the last time we did the poll? How much altcoins do you hold? We'll take these, drop it above. You guys let me know. But it's interesting because you're seeing people get excited about this Litecoin halving coming up. Litecoin has been one of the top performers. I'm a fan of Litecoin. I like Litecoin. I used to use it a lot when I first got into crypto. So 58 days, we do have the Litecoin block reward. I mean, you could even see Peter Brandt. He's talking about Litecoin. He's saying that Litecoin has completed a significant buy signal. Basically, people are saying that you're crazy if you're not in Litecoin right now because they're thinking it's going to do well. Also, XRP, they're talking about how it's looking like it's pretty much ready for a breakout. So actually, a lot of these altcoins that have been down, they are all finding these really nice positions. So if we do have the gift of Bitcoin going sideways for just a little bit longer, maybe for like the next week or so, and it doesn't have a big move, we could actually see some pretty good altcoin movements in the future. Also on the same topic of Litecoin, Kraken Litecoin withdrawals now support all formats. Pretty technical, but I know that you guys will be excited about that. Other pretty good news about Litecoin. Litecoin's just been in the news all over the place. So 2020 presidential candidate Andrew Yang actually met with Charlie Lee. You could see here's the picture that they tweeted right here. Now, they didn't really go into detail what they met or what they talked about, but we do know that Andrew Yang is pretty pro cryptocurrency. So that's pretty exciting for the 2020 election. You can see right here, it says that he called for the federal government to create clear guidelines as to how cryptocurrencies and the crypto market should be treated and regulated. According to his website, he plans to model his policies after the progressive pro-blockchain work accomplished by Wyoming legislators and the sponsors of the Token Taxonomy Act. But I know we're getting off topic here, but let's also discuss what's happening out there in the real world right now. I mean, there are a lot of factors that could push these prices a lot higher outside of just, oh, well, they look really good on the technicals, right? I mean, you could see that the US dollar is now worth apparently 6.9 yuan, which is pretty alarming to say the least, okay? So we have a trade war. It's going on right now. The S&P 500 is even down 3%, and some people think that this could be correlated with it, right? We talked about Christopher Vecchio. He was on the other day. He was saying that it would be kind of difficult potentially for Bitcoin in his mind to reach $20,000. However, he says that this is very possible for Bitcoin to reach $20,000 this year if we do consider the weakening of the yuan, right? He goes on to say, in an environment where the global financial system looks like it's potentially at risk because of the world's two largest economies going at odds, people may be looking for alternative avenues to find ways to circumvent their capital. And I think we've already seen this, okay? Even when Trump came out and was just talking about the difficulties with remittances, or he was saying maybe he wanted to stop remittances to Mexico. Well, that week we saw the all-time high of Mexico over-the-counter trading for Bitcoin over at local Bitcoins, right? So these things do have an effect. There is a real effect when you see these things happening out in the real world, right? The real world, right? As if crypto's not the real world. Sometimes I don't know what crypto is. It does get a little crazy. You also have Bitcoin analyst Oliver Isaacs. He also chimed in and said that Bitcoin has the potential to reach $25,000 by the end of this year, also considering the exact same situation with the trade war and all that other stuff as well. And here's another interesting thing. So we heard the crazy news that came out from India, right? So basically, they're giving anyone that either holds cryptocurrencies, uses it, mines it, sells it. Basically, if you do anything with cryptocurrency, you're going to get 10 years in prison. Now, they haven't had an official response yet, so I don't know if this is currently just a rumor. I haven't seen an official thing out yet, but long story short, you can see Barry Silbert. He basically says, listen, they're not messing around, but of course, it will have the opposite effect. And we've seen in the past, anytime these different countries try to ban Bitcoin, it creates a little bit of FUD. It creates a little bit of a dent, right? Maybe the price dumps, but then it ends up skyrocketing and creating more FOMO anyway, right? I mean, think about it. The war on drugs brought more drugs. The war on terror brought more terror. So the war on crypto and Bitcoin will probably just bring more crypto and Bitcoin, right? I mean, that just seems like that's how it tends to go, right? So also talking about another interesting rumor that's been around. Now, this is from Crypt Hawk. It says, seems like it's out. Ripple acquired MoneyGram, leading to a huge access deal with Walmart. More to come, believe me. Now, we do know that they had a partnership that happened back in January of 2018, and this was confirmed. They said MoneyGram will pilot the use of XRP, the native digital asset of the XRP ledger, in payment flows throughout XRapid. Now, some people are saying that it actually doesn't make sense for Ripple to acquire MoneyGram. In fact, they're saying that Ripple can't acquire MoneyGram. They say it makes little sense for them to do so. If they did, they would be entering in competition with every other cross-border remittance transfer company, i.e. their client base, which goes against a lot of what they stand for, as they have openly and often stated they want to work with the system, not destroy it. So anybody from the XRP army out there, does anybody know what's going on? Is this true? Is this speculation? What's going on? So I haven't really heard any facts about this. It does seem a little strange, but let me know if you guys have any insights into that. But we also do have good news. They say it looks like Coinbase Wallet is adding Ethereum name service support. This is really great. So, basically, it's just a simple name. If you guys aren't familiar with this, they're doing the exact same thing over at Unstoppable Domains. Basically, you'd have something, like Emily.zil or Joe.zil or whatever, and that would basically be an address for all of your different cryptos, right? So one address, and it wouldn't matter, right? It doesn't matter if I'm sending you Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Lightning, Ethereum. You just send it to that, and you would get it. So pretty cool. I have it. If you guys haven't checked it out, definitely. I do have links below if you're interested. But yeah, I mean, I'm really excited for their auctions coming out, and then when they eventually get the domain services up, that'll be pretty cool as well. But I wanted to give a shout out to all the teams that are out there working, all the teams that are out there building. It has been a really rough year. This was actually a pretty cool post from Elrond that they put out. They had all the guys on the team looking like Avengers and stuff like that. But I mean, you could just see, look at this. Huge progress on testnet, milestones, significant improvements to the Block Explorer, great progress, communication side as well, collaboration, and then they're hinting like, you know what this means, take a guess. And, I just wanted to say, I came across this article, the proof of the working product is the reason for markets revival. Well, actually, they're asking if it is. And I don't know. I mean, isn't it a kind of comforting idea to know that, like, hey, man, when the masses finally do come in, at least they're not going to have these crappy, clunky interfaces and products that we were basically dealing with we still are kind of dealing with right now. You can see they say, as the market finds its leg in mid-2019, it's worth considering what the underlying reasons are for this tentative recovery. They go in to talk about second layer solutions like Bitcoin's Lightning Network. And I know that some people have their, gripes against it, saying that, it's a centralized, glorified bar tab. Okay, fine, we've gone over this, but it still is trying to make it easier. Even Ethereum scaling, right? Talking about moving to proof of stake, they're saying this provides momentum as people are going to want to stake the Ethereum, right? But also means that smart and autonomous applications built on top of Ethereum won't be constrained. We've seen so many successful implementations. Matic Network partnering with Seller Network, okay? All their things that they're doing. Don't forget, they're already using Dagger, okay? And also, look, they say part of what helped turn the market's pessimism around was that people began to realize that these great products have quietly started to go mainstream in the back while people weren't paying attention. They give a few examples here. One of them, if you guys remember, is blockchain VR platform Seek. I don't know, anybody remember that? When we were talking about that? It can already be purchased on Amazon, Target, Best Buy, and iTunes. And Seek is a blockchain-enabled VR experience. And digital market, they have acts like U2, Katy Perry, Lady Gaga, and they're paid in crypto for performing basically to a virtual audience, right? And I actually am like a fan of VR. I do think that it is going to be a bigger and bigger thing, especially when you think about maybe third world countries or even just places where these musicians maybe just never tour. Maybe there's spots that they just never go to, right? So that's really, really cool considering that, and you would be able to obviously experience that, and that's all on the blockchain, which is crazy. Card Stack as well, a unique visual dashboard that lets users select and stack individual Ethereum applications. Actually, I had them on the channel a while ago. Very complicated project, but yeah. So, and then look, talking more about this virtual reality stuff, you can see they say world-class museums and galleries such as the British Museum in London and the Louvre in Paris now offer full virtual tours. Visitors in remote locations can view historical artifacts and artwork without leaving their homes. Walmart recently announced that they would be deploying VR to train their in-store employees across the US, so that's pretty interesting. And then they talk about Seek again, and it says Real Madrid star defender Donny Carvalho, I probably said his name wrong, has teamed up with them as a brand ambassador. So this is cool because now they have virtual reality soccer training for young people, right? And this allows them to be able to learn, and they, for kids that can't actually, get out there and actually go and be trained. Maybe they don't have the money or they don't have the resources. I don't know, I mean, look at these things also too, like with what Decentraland is building. I mean, I don't know if you guys are a fan of the movie Ready Player One, but I think that that's really a possible, potential for the future. I mean, I hope we don't all end up like in WALL-E where we're just all in chairs, tied. But, I basically what I'm saying is the space is growing. We're seeing the improvements coming out. I mean, even just the other day, we spoke about dApp.com. This is incredible. This is an ecosystem that's going to tie together all the dApps. And I think finally, if we just stop looking at the price for 5 seconds, you realize all of this is finally coming together. And this is just the beginning. And if that doesn't make you happy before we go, Bitcoin is outperforming Donald Trump, Tesla, and Kim Kardashian in Google search trends. So yeah, I think that's where we'll leave this video. So that being said, I hope you guys found some kind of value out of today's video. What do you think about this crazy double bubble theory? Do you actually think that we will see a $50,000 to $100,000 Bitcoin in the next month? Personally, to me, that seems unrealistic. However, I'm a proud Bitcoin hodler, so hey, to the moon. If we do, I'll be there. I'll be ready. And I hope you will too. Like I said, try to get at least one Bitcoin, not financial advice, but just try. I really think if you have one Bitcoin, that could be enough, man. That could be absolutely life-changing, moving forward. So we'll have to see what's going on. Let's have a look at our good old buddy, though. What's he doing? Just hanging out in the blue zone. So that being said, thank you so much for coming back to the channel. You are freaking awesome. Everyone that's been liking, subscribing, commenting, you rock. Also want to say thank you to everyone that's been helping support the channel by using the referral links below. It doesn't cost you anything extra, and it really does help me out. Brave Browser, Ledger, if you guys haven't checked out Bybit. So definitely check those out, but I don't expect that of you. Stopping by, saying hello, that's all I ask. Thank you so much. Really do appreciate it. Hope you have an awesome weekend. My name is K-Dub. This is Crypto Zombie. Until next time, stay crypto and peace out.